Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is what I like to call Coach's Corner, and today I wanted to talk about something I read in the book I'm reading right now, and it actually has nothing to do with fitness. It's not even a nonfiction book, but the title of it is called Your Second Life Begins When You Realize You Only Have One. And the premise of the book is about a woman, and she has something called acute routinitis, and it's basically just not feeling fulfilled with your day-to-day routine and just feeling like all the things you truly want in life are out of your grasp, but it really isn't if you just change your perspective in life and enjoy everything you do have. And just something, a small example, like the book was saying, was just as simple as you walking down the street on the way to work in the morning. Instead of focusing on the fact that you have to rush, or the homeless person asking you for money, or the smell of the garbage on the street, or the fact that you just tripped over a crack in the sidewalk, instead focus on, maybe the mother that's loving her child and it looks so cute, or the little puppy, or the beautiful bird, or the sound of the wind blowing in the trees. Just stuff like that will just make life just seem more simple and pleasant versus just focusing on the mundane of the day-to-day. The reason why it struck a chord with me when it came to fitness is because as a coach, or even just as a person who is an avid lifter and is really focused on taking care of their health, when I talk to people who struggle with that aspect of their life and they say that they just struggle with either discipline or maintaining a routine or their mental state, their relationship with food, it almost is as if all those struggles, even if they're different struggles, everyone kind of goes through the same cycle with the struggle that they're going through. I'm going to go ahead and read what struck a chord with me in the book, and just picture a Venn diagram, and one is called the virtuous cycle and the other one is called the vicious cycle. And I'm going to start with the vicious cycle because this is something that I think is a cycle that a lot of people struggle with, and it eventually leads them to not seeing out their fitness goals. And it starts off with negative thought leading to hunched, floppy body position, lack of energy, sadness, discouragement, fears, drifting, apathy, failure to take care of yourself, low self-esteem, I'm hopeless, I'll never do it, closing in on yourself, lack of opening up to others, feeling of getting nowhere, lack of vision, uncertain perspective, failure, goals not achieved. And I see that so much, even if a client is actively working with me and their process is not going the way they want, or the process just feels harder for them than they originally imagined it would, or everything just feels so unnatural. And I have to work with them to avoid them going down the cycle that they constantly have been on, and that they finally got tired of being with that on that cycle and decided to work with someone. I cannot emphasize enough that when I talk to people, like I said, that struggle with their fitness and their health, a majority of the time they really are in that type of cycle. And it can really just you can really just break out of that cycle by changing the perspective and the relationship and the way you view fitness. Instead of it being so goal-centered or focused on something that you feel as if you cannot achieve, just focus on the smaller things and the smaller wins. Instead of focusing on the fact that you haven't gotten to point Z, focus on the fact that you went from A to C. Even that is progress, and that is just changing the perspective so you can feel more accomplished towards going for your goals. And now I'm going to read the virtuous cycle because it's basically a way to combat yourself if you are stuck in the vicious cycle. And it starts with positive thought, or act as if, dynamic body position, straight back, held up high, smiling, liveliness, communicative, enthusiasm, ability to take care of yourself, eat well, exercise, allow yourself pleasure, high self-esteem, thinking I'm worth it, I deserve to be happy, opening up towards others, opportunities, network, ability to bounce back, creativity, constructive view of a situation, solutions, success, goals achieved. And I love the part specifically where it says, I'm worth it, I deserve to be happy, because a lot of people suffer from simply thinking that they don't even deserve the time in their day to be able to go to the gym. Even just like the busy mom who feels guilt for taking an hour and a half for herself because, oh my gosh, if I go to the gym, then the laundry is going to be behind, or then I'm going to have dinner. Dinner's going to be served 30 minutes to an hour later, and then people are going to be hungry. But those are the things where you have to realize that you are important You deserve to feel happy. You deserve to feel confident. You deserve to feel strong. And those are not things that you have to feel like you have to reward yourself with, or you deserve that when you get to do something. When something happens, or when a certain part in your life, or when someone gives you instruction, you know, you are really in charge of your own life. Even if you hire a coach, they can't do the work for you. You can sign up with them, but when it really comes down to it, they can't make you track your macros. They can't make you go to the gym. You have to want it for yourself. And that's why I really do think, where I said I deserve to be happy and you're worth it, acknowledging that is really a really good first step into wanting to really change your life. The first exercises in the book was the counselor telling her to do a deep spring cleaning inside and out. And she started with the outside, but even when he first had suggested that as one of the exercises for their therapy, her gut instinct was to kind of scoff and kind of just be like, ugh, if I find the time, if I even get the chance, I'm so swamped. But he said to her, if you convince yourself that time is a problem, it will be. If, on the other hand, you are convinced that you will succeed in finding time, you'll probably be able to. And I can't tell you how many times people use the time as a reason why they don't go to the gym, or the reason why they don't eat healthy, and the reason why they have to order Uber Eats more than make their own meal. It's that notion where if you already tell yourself that you have a problem, or there's a factor that is the reason why you can't achieve your goals, your brain is going to limit yourself to ever being able to break past that point. If you, like it said in the book, if you tell yourself it's a problem, your brain will not be able to break past the problem, because until the problem solves itself, it's never going to go away. And something as time, where time doesn't change, you will always have the same 24 hours in the day. Such a good point to say that if, on the other hand, you are convinced that you will succeed in finding time, instead of telling yourself that you immediately don't have the time, try to just figure out a way to build a structure and a program and a routine that helps you find the time. Remember, this book has nothing to do with fitness, but it just, as a coach, it really struck multiple chords with me, because when I do my interviews, or when I have my clients fill out questionnaires and I tell them and I ask them, what are your struggles with diet and what are your struggles with fitness? Majority of the time, it's something I've heard before. Something that he said also was, energy creates energy. At first, these efforts will seem very difficult, but then less and less so. The more you do, the more you'll want to do. Even so true when it comes to fitness, because people will come to you not having any exercise experience, or exercise experience but haven't exercised in a while. Feel difficult, unnatural, uncomfortable, and you just want to run, make it end, make it stop. But the more and more you do it, and little by little as you grow and you blossom, and it becomes more of a habit instead of something that you're trying to build into, it will feel natural. And through time, it won't even feel like you're finding the time for it. It almost will feel like the time is made for it. And even with the energy thing, it almost will feel like you don't have to find the energy for the gym. Your body will just naturally have the energy for the gym. And even when you go to the gym and the weight feels heavy, the more you do that weight, the less and less it'll feel hard. Well, weights will always feel hard, but as far as like when you pick up that 20-pound, it'll feel less and less hard. But you have to allow yourself to get out of that sticky point, and you have to change your mindset, because if it really starts here, in order to get your feet to move in that position, then changing your mindset has to be your first step. And again, the book is called Your Second Life Begins When You Realize You Only Have One, and it's by Raphael Giordano. It's a French book. I'm reading the English translation. It's a very good book, and I highly recommend it if you struggle with the mindset portion of your fitness goals. I hope this video struck a chord with you like it struck a chord with me, and I hope to see you in my next video.